I'm Zoey here inside of Seva Yoga in the Gaslight District. I am going to help break down one of our most visited postures, Virabhadrasana 1 or Warrior 1. We do visit a lot in our practice, but to me, I think this is one of the most challenging standing postures, especially when it comes to the grounding in the feet, the position of the hips. There's a lot going on. So come join me and practice Virabhadrasana 1. So I'll start at the front of the mat, and I'm just going to step the right foot back. The beginning of every posture is in the grounding, in the earth, in your feet. So we'll start there. The position of the feet traditionally is heel-to-heel alignment. So that means if your front heel had a little line, invisible line, dragging all the way back to the back heel, those 2 points would come up in that one line. Now this can create a little bit of a problem with the hips as they want to start to guide out to the side with this kind of narrow position. One thing you can do to help that is the position of your back toes. The more that the toes point out to the side, the more that the hips are going to follow. So if you start to point the toes forward, you create more space to help guide the hips forward. And we're really trying to work towards a parallel hip position towards the front of the room. Now that's not always accessible. So even here, my hips are still pulling to the side, so I might even take my front foot out to the side a little bit further, creating even more space for that squaring of the hips. With your hands on the hips, you might notice that you start to tilt forward a little bit here, which creates a little bit of a back bend in the low back when you lift the arms up overhead. So with my hands on the hips here, I'm going to start to drag the fronts of the hip creases up. My tailbone not tucking back, but sinking down can start to create a little more space there. As you bend deep into the front knee, feel like you're rotating the inner thigh bone back into space, creating even more of that squaring and more stability. So lifting fronts of the hips. From here, I'll float the arms up overhead. This is something that tends to happen a lot here. Just because we have strong shoulders, often tight shoulders, they want to reach up to the ears. So to help drag the shoulder blades down the back, I'm going to think of my inner arm bones rooting back into space. That creates more space for the shoulder blades to sink down, and maybe if comfortable, I can start to look up. Traditionally, the palms touch, gaze up, but again, this can be a little bit troublesome sometimes for some of us. So always feel free to open the arms, gaze forward, creating more length. There you have it, Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1.